In this video, we're gonna talk about strangest inventions of NASA. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Since its founding in 1958, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, the US government organization in charge of the nation's civilian space program, has achieved some truly amazing feats, including defeating the Soviet Union in the race to put astronauts on the moon and using unmanned robotic vehicles to explore the surface of Mars. You won't be surprised to learn that NASA has a pretty amazing brain trust of scientific and engineering ability in a variety of subjects, including astronomy and physics, as well as chemistry, biology, and material science. To address the unique challenges of the space exploration, NASA has developed a wide range of technology. It developed the groundbreaking three-axis stabilization control design in the 1950s and early 1960s, allowing satellites to orient their antennas, instruments, and solar panels precisely. Since that time, it has proven such a successful problem solver that roughly 1 in 1,000 US. In fact, the NASA team is so innovative that many of its discoveries benefit those of us who remain on the ground. The organization also has a specialized administrative division called the Technology Utilization Program that's responsible for assisting businesses in transforming the concepts of underpinning space technology into commercial and consumer innovations. Here are 10 strangest innovations of the NASA. So let's start. Number 10. Memory foam. Charles Yost worked on technologies to safely recover the Apollo command module and its astronauts in the 1960s. 4 years later, Yost was asked to help NASA's Ames Research Center build crash-resistant airliner seats. Yost invented a plastic foam that could deform, absorb pressure, and return to its original shape. Researchers discovered that the slow spring-back foam, as it was named first, not only made passengers safe, it also made sitting for hours on long flights more comfortable since it allowed for a more uniform distribution of the body weight. Yost founded Dynamic System Inc. in 1967 to market temper foam. Since then, memory foam has found its way into scores of applications. In the 1970s and 1980s, the Dallas Cowboys lined players' helmets with it to minimize impact. Shoemakers use the foam to make comfortable insoles. Foam mattresses, pads, and wheelchair seats support hospital patients with severe sores. Memory foam and its successors have many users. A Colorado business builds inflatable bumper rafts made of memory foam for theme park whitewater attractions. Kentucky Foam makes horse saddles and prosthetic braces from it. Next, we will look at technology that protects NASA's high-tech equipment on and off the Earth. Number 9. Anti-corrosion coating. Space exploration equipment must endure rocket exhaust heat and space cold. Ocean spray and fog are surprisingly damaging. It rusts NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida and other coastal facilities, gantries, and launch structures. In the 1970s, NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center discovered that covering equipment with zinc dust and potassium silicate prevented costly rusting. In the 1980s, Inorganic Coating Inc. exploited the principle to create IC531 zinc silicate, a non-toxic water-based coating that attaches to steel and dries to a hard, ceramic-like finish in 30 minutes. Bridge girders, pipelines, oil rigs, dock equipment, boilers, tractor-trailer truck frames, and U.S. Army tanks have been coated. In the mid-1980s, 225 gallons, that becomes 852 liters of the coating, were put to the Statue of Liberty to prevent future damages. Next, we will meet technology that can show us the cosmos in human arteries. Number 8. Arterial vision. Since the mid-1960s, NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory (JPL) has been improving video imaging software so astronomers may create high-resolution photographs of the faraway planets and other celestial objects using space probe data. In recent years, medical experts have used NASA's software breakthroughs to examine patients' circulatory system for signs of atherosclerosis, a disease that can cause heart attacks and strokes. The California Institute of Technology, which controls JPL for NASA, licensed the technology to Medical Technologies International Inc. Arterial Vision software resulted. It can be used with ultrasonography to examine a patient's carotid artery, which supplies blood to the brain. Number 7. Cochlear implants. Adam Kisaya Jr., a hearing-impaired engineer at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, knew the limitation of the analog hearing aids in the 1970s. They boosted sound without clarifying it. He used NASA electronic sensor systems, telemetry, and sound and vibration sensors to solve the problem. He came up with a new form of hearing aid, an implant that would stimulate auditory nerve endings, which would then send messages to the brain. Kisaya worked with BioStem to develop the gadget. Other manufacturers used Kisaya's patent, Source Space Foundation. Since then, 219,000 patients have gotten cochlear implants. People born deaf can hear with the devices. They have also restored hearing for folks with a receptive auditory nerve but hearing loss from the accident or sickness. Mike Shearer, a Peoria man in his late 50s, had a cochlear implant in 2009 and heard birdsong in his neighborhood. "That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard," he said. Number 6. Scratch-resistant eyeglass lenses. Eyeglasses were once made of glass. If someone wearing them was hit, the lens would shatter and spew vision-threatening shards. In 1972, the FDA required all sunglasses and prescription lenses to be shatter-resistant, forcing lenses makers to use more robust plastic. Plastic lenses offered a greater vision and UV absorption, but they were easier to scratch. NASA's Ames Research Center, Ted Weidwin helped. Weidwin coated a filter with a thin plastic coating using an organic vapor electric discharge. NASA developed an abrasion-resistant coating for space helmet visors and aerospace equipment using the concept. Foster Grant, a sunglasses manufacturer, introduced scratch-resistant coating in 1983. Today, most eyeglasses sold in the US have plastic lenses that last 10 times longer than the old ones. Number 5. Microalgae nutritional supplements. In the past 10 years, if you fed a baby formula, it most likely contained microalgae or, more precisely, an algae-based dietary supplement. You might even be consuming it. NASA started a project known as Closed Environment Life Support System in the 1980s. This project looked into the possibility of using microalgae as long-term space missions food source. Some of the scientists that worked on the NASA project established Martech Biosciences to carry on the study once the NASA project was completed. The red form of the microalgae studied by Martech, Cryptacodinium cohni, is rich in DHA, an omega-3 fatty acid. The brain, eyes, heart contain DHA, which is crucial for both the growth of these organs in infants and their functionality in adults. Arachidonic acid, AHA, an important omega-6 fatty acid generated from a fungus, was also a component of the nutritional supplement formulae that Martech started producing in 2001. The majority of the baby formulae sold in the United States today, as well as those sold in more than 75 other nations across the world, contain this addition. Number 4. Computer mice. The mouse will be the most popular method of using a personal computer until we all have those lovely interfaces from Minority Report. And NASA required it, therefore it exists. Money was invested in an effort to make computers easier to interact with as computers were being used in more parts of spaceflight. The computer mouse was the end product. They probably had no idea that kids would later utilize them to create crude drawings of dicks and Emma's pain. Number 3. Comfortable running shoes. The space program has made enormous advances for humanity, yet it never receives credit for giving Forrest Gump the means to travel the country. NASA engineers discovered that the same concept could be used to make shoes after developing a rubber molding procedure for astronaut helmets. The NASA method made it possible to build shock absorbers into the soles of shoes, which later became a regular element in sporting footwear. So, the next time your obnoxious friend tries to convince you that those odd foot gloves are the best jogging gear available, just tell him that you will be using cutting-edge equipment. Then renounce your friendship with him. Number 2. Ice-resistant airplanes. About as well as ice and red wine, ice and airplane don't mix. They don't combine at all. To put it another way, ever then halt. By creating a number of electrical solutions for airplanes confronting the risks of icing, such as heating the leading surfaces of the wing, NASA has contributed to making the skies a safer place for everyone. These innovations are now being used on everything from large commercial jets to little one-engine aircraft. Number 1. Survival blankets. Tragically, Liam Neeson is not with you as you crash land in the wilds of Alaska. Thank goodness you have one of those small survival blankets with you to keep you warm. You will at least feel at ease when the wolves show up. You can find additional solace in the knowledge that NASA developed the substance as insulation for nearly all of their spacecraft, from satellites to Apollo lander. It's somewhat even better than having Liam Neeson on your side. What do you think about our video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit the subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.